welcome to my channel. This is CA and Audit Conversation with Amu. My name is Amu and I'm the co-founder and the host of this channel, and we have started on the My CA Journey conversations. So how I became a CA. I have started doing the series. I had part 1 where I took you through my journey. So today it's a very interesting day. I'm very nervous. I've been saying I'm nervous because I have my friend with me who so happened to be my guest today, and she's my first guest in this channel. Okay, so now you were still explaining to us that you then decided to go to Unisa because you thought a diploma is not enough. Yes, you did well at Rosebank College. You have your financial accounting diploma, but you still wanted to further your studies because you want a degree. And you decided to go to the university, to Unisa. So maybe if you can explain to us why you decided to go to Unisa and what's the difference between Unisa and residential university?
Well, I lost hope with the residential universities, so I thought I wouldn't qualify, so I had just disqualified myself that I don't qualify for being at UP, I don't qualify to be at UJ or VET, So in my head at that time, the only university that can take me is Unisa. And that's why I went to Unisa. Now the difference between Unisa and a residential university, at a residential university, as a student, you get to experience full-time classes. So you would actually have your classes scheduled for you for the entire week or for the entire semester. And you go to class every day and you have assignments and you have tests and you have exams and there's a lecture and there's some assistants there, So basically at a residential university, you still get the feel of being in class, of being taught by someone standing next to you giving you a lecture and someone telling you this is the scope, this is what you need to know. So that's what happens at the residential university. And with Unisa, at that time, if you're going to Unisa, they used to say it's for elderly people.
Yes.
Because now they are working and studying at the same time, So that's why it's open distance learning, to say that you can still study, but you don't have to be at the university. You don't have to be in class. You don't have a class at 8. You don't have a class at 2. You don't have such setup. So you get sent like study material when the semester starts. So you'd register, let's say 5 or 6 modules, and your study materials come in with your tutorial letter 101. It has all your assignments in there, and there's a study guide to say what you need to study. It will make reference to the test book that you need to study. So you are gonna learn this content alone.
Sure.
Right? So yes, the lecturers are there, they are available, but you have to call them, make an appointment and walk.
And they're not easily accessible as residential.
Exactly.
After class you can quickly go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is the difference between Unisa and residential. So you teach yourself. So you have to learn everything, write the assignment, submit the assignment, and after submitting the assignment, you prepare now for your exams, and then you prepare yourself to go to the exam. So before they introduced your peer-to-peers, right? So peer-to-peer would be one of the learners, top learners, that would teach his peers, right?
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
But that happens after hours. And they also had facet classes where you would go and attend once before, they used to call it exam revision. So you'd go once and then they revise with you. The lecturers are there. Some are invited to come and give a lecture from other residential universities, such things. So those were the systems in place to assist the learners to pass. Yes. So that is the difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Thank you for explaining that to us. So I think it was important for us to discuss that. For someone, maybe if you are in a similar situation like that, either you believe that you don't qualify for a residential university, or because of your circumstances, maybe you don't qualify, to go to a residential university, or maybe you have to go work because we have different circumstances. Because, like what Tsatsi said, a residential university, it's like you are still in school,
yes.
So you have to be there, and some of them you get marks for attending class. So if you miss class, you might lose those 1 or 2% of the mark. So if maybe you still need to work based on your circumstances, or maybe you don't qualify, you can look into Unisa because it caters for such situations.
Yes.
All right. So in summary, the irony is already we're talking. So you are moving from wanting to be a doctor to going to a college where initially things were not going well, but they ended up going well.
Yes.
Now you go to Unisa where you have to teach yourself.
Yes.
And remember, you didn't do accounting in high school.
Yes.
And you chose the difficult accounting. I told you she's a hard worker, right? So you can see. So someone would have said, no, I'm going to the easy one. But you chose the difficult one. And even then, you did not know that will lead you to the CA route.
Yes.
So when did you find out that this accounting, and I believe that was just God sent.
It was, right? I mean, I could have met someone on that day who would have explained it to me, like, properly and unpacked it, right? But I just met someone who was just there to do her job.
Her job, yes, it's exactly what she did.
Yes, and that's it. But then, after I've registered, I go to Unisa, and I used to study at Unisa. So for me, I didn't wake up and go to the local library.
Okay.
So I woke up, I catch a train, and then I would go to Unisa Sunnyside campus.
Okay.
And that's where I was meeting people. So now you meet people, we're doing the same course, yes, because now you can see this one has the same study guide as me. So the setup was that there was that site where we used to call it building 15.
Okay.
So it's the name of the building. So Unisa's buildings have like numbers.
Okay.
So that was building 15. So it's an entire huge study wall, and then it had like small discussion rooms.
Okay.
Not like really small, but that's where you would sit for people who want to discuss.
Okay.
And so that was our territory.
So that's where I guess you met.
That's where I met people, right?
Okay.
Because then I'm studying there, I'm going there every day, and we're doing accounting, we're doing this, and we are in groups, and we start to know each other. We travel with the same train because you'd be going to Mamelodi, and now you at the train station like, I saw her, I saw them, then you start mingling and we start knowing each other. We catch the same train at the same time, we come back the same time. So we basically created our own residential
university,
at Unisa. Wow. So, and then we had a career day. When we attended the career day, that's when I was like, so what I'm studying, I'm gonna be a CA, because now it was getting unpacked, right? And then you get to be told that you're gonna do CTA, you write your board 1 and board 2, then you have articles, and there's all these fancy audit firms there, your BDO, KPMG, your auditor general, and in the group, of friends where we all studying this route, and obviously we believed we are genius,
Yes, I like your confidence.
Yes, we studied BCom, so we are the gold of Unisa. So we used to believe in that, So in that group, you start learning about KPMG being the top, this one being this is the top 4, this one is this. So I started understanding, and now the desire of being a CA started to grow, that I am gonna be a CA.
Yes.
So I didn't even want to know anything about
it. So
now I'm
to the bank.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be a chartered accountant, I'm gonna be a CA. And at university it's so fancy, they say the saying, they used to call it the saying, CASA. So I'm like, I'm gonna have double barrel. I'm gonna have double barrel, So I started bragging about it, and I'm the doing well at school, right? I'm doing so well.
So at Unisa, then you continue doing well, because when I also met you, you were like top of the class.
Teaching them at Unisa. You understand, like those people would be coming from work this time, you know, around 4, 5. They'll be coming back from the office and then they coming to study. I'm teaching them what we're gonna be sitting and writing together.
Wow.
So I'll be sitting there teaching you, and we're gonna write the same exam together, and I still come back with a distinction, you know. So I was doing that and I was making money.
So if you were wondering how she became a lecturer, this is how it all began. So now, for the interest of someone who wants to explore this, so at Unisa, you went there wanting to get your degree, and now you are learning about the CA journey and you're pursuing the CA journey. So how long did it take you then to complete your degree at Unisa?
So it took me 3 years.
And at Rosebank, how long it took?
2 years. So this is 5 years.
This
now.
is year number 5.
Yeah, so I'm 5 years in school.
Yeah.
And I'm still not done.
Yes.
Right? So when I finished my degree
and record time and top of the class,
you know, so I went to AG.
Why? Just briefly, why? I know now how you learned about the different firms, but what led you to AG, and why didn't you continue doing your CTA?
The finances.
Yeah.
So the parents said they can only fund up until after my degree I need to get a job.
Guys, once again, sorry, this is South Africa. We have load shading. My lights are off, but they will come back soon. We are gonna continue for the interest of time. So yes, CTA, why did you choose? So remember guys, my CTA in my journey, I did it full time at the University of Pretoria, which is a residential university, but you did it at Unisa, and we said Unisa, it's not a residential university, so you can still study and work at the same time.
Yes.
So you chose to explore that option of working and studying. Why?
Okay, so I didn't choose it, guys. It chose me. So the parents just said, no, we don't have money, and for your studies, because now my little sister is also now coming in
to the university.
University. We've got like a 2 years gap. Yeah. So now she's coming in, and I think they had budgeted that by the time I'm done, by the time I finish my 3rd year, she'll be coming in. But it's not how it unrolled, so my journey became longer. So I was like, okay, fine. I wanted BDO. So BDO didn't work out for me because they wanted CTA, and I don't have CTA. So now I have to get the CTA, but at the same time, I don't have money. I don't have anyone coming in and saying, I will pay for your CTA, you can go and do it at UJ, or you can go and do it at UP. You understand? Sure. So now the option that best suits my situation, it's the Auditor General. Because now the Auditor General was gonna give me a bursary, it was gonna pay for my fees, and then I'm working for them. And I mean, what more could I ask for?
Sure. Yeah, and sorry for the benefits again of people that, because I'm assuming that you would have watched my video before, but that might not be the case. So what we are talking about, CTA, is a postgrad qualification. So for you to be a CA, you need a degree. So you need a degree, and then you need the postgraduate qualification, in which they call it CTA based on psych terms. So you have an option of doing it full time, which was my case, but with Tsatsi's case, she did it part time because of finances as well. So now you are doing your CTA, you are working, and you are studying. And CTA, guys, it's I think we can both say it's very challenging. It's doable. I mean,
it is.
But it's challenging. So how was that for you? Now you are working and you have to do your CTA.
Okay, so there I am at AG, and luckily I get allocated like an easy client. I don't know if I can say an easy client.
Yeah, so what you perceive to be easy.
Yeah, I perceived it to be an easy client. So well, it worked out perfectly for me. I met Tabelo, and Tabelo said to me, you have to change your mindset. You working part-time and studying full-time.
Yeah.
And in the physical, it doesn't seem like that because I'm 8 hours here.
Yes.
You understand? So what do you mean that I'm working part-time and studying full-time? Because I'm physically here for 8 hours.
8 hours.
And I'm working.
Sure.
And then I've got like an entire, I have to decide what I do with my time. But it worked out for me, right? I learned that basically I've got 24 hours. 8 hours to the AGSA, and the rest of the hours come to me. The rest of the 16 hours are mine.
Yeah.
So it's up to me how I structure these hours. Then I took a leap of faith. In Feb, I started working on the 16th of January 2015.
15, yeah.
Yes. In Feb, I bought a car.
That's how you're doing articles, guys. And remember, articles, you also get, it's like an internship. So you get a stipend. You don't get like a
I was getting 6.5. I remember very well. And I was like,
6,500.
I was like, I'm going to buy a car. So I got a Polo. This was part of the plan.
Yeah.
So the plan is that I need to be at work as early as possible.
Okay.
So I get to work at 6 or at 5:30, right? And then I study up until everyone else arrives. So my team used to get there around 8. So when they get there, I've already studied. I've already done my 2 hours, right? And then afterwards, I would knock off, go to Lifika. And there was a family there because there was a family of CTA people. So everyone was just doing CTA. When they knock off from their clients, we all at Lifika studying, right? So I get there at Lifika because I'm close by. I don't travel, so I arrive early. So by the time it's 6, people are coming. I've got an hour that I've already, chopped into my studies.
So that was a blessing for you.
Yeah. So and I had an option to either stay at the flats. I didn't like it there during my when I was still at Rosebank. So hence I moved back home, and now I was like, no, I'm gonna stay at home. I don't like this idea of flats. Then get the car and then I'll travel. So that's how I run it.
So you saved on rent, because normally when you're doing articles, we go stay in the flat so that we are close to the office.
Yes.
Then we, like in my case, I got a flat and then I used to take taxis.
Yes.
So in your case, you opted to stay at home back at Mamelodi and then buy a car and then travel.
Yes.
Okay.
So it worked best for me. And I was doing well. Like I was in the booster room.
Yes, she was top, guys.
I was top. I was doing, and I was still teaching them. And I was still teaching them, so I was doing well. And then came my second year.
Okay, so again, for the benefit of people, at Unisa, how long does it, like an ideal thing, how long does it take for one to complete CTA? Because in a residential university, it will take you a year, but at Unisa is slightly different.
Yes, because I don't know, it changed, right?
Okay.
And it changed the year I was coming in. So I don't know, like the year I was gonna come in, I was supposed to do like CTA and finish. But that year is where they changed the whole thing. So they had CTA 1 and CTA 2.
Yeah.
So you have to pass CTA 1 before you can go and do CTA 2.
So
it's basically 2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
So CTA 1 takes a year and CTA 2 takes a year.
And the same concept, you have to sit and write all your exams in one sitting and pass all of them. So it's not like in CTA 1 you can decide to write 3 and 2. No, you need to pass all 5 and then you can move to CTA 2.
Okay.
Yes.
And also I think that could be because CTA has a lot of work volume.
Yes.
Already in a residential university where we go to class every day, the volume is a lot, we couldn't finish. So now if you're only doing it part-time, I think that's the reason. That's my assumption.
Only makes sense.
Why they did 2 years.
Yeah.
So first year everything went well, you passed, now you are and you were in the top, now you are in second year, everything went well.
No, in second year.
And this is your year 7 now.
This is my year 7. Okay. So in second year, there was a guy I was like studying with and then he became my boyfriend. So I felt pregnant in second year.
Okay.
Now remember, I'm this top student, right? And I can't mess it up.
And now there's another top student.
The other problem was that at home, my dad never used to understand this whole thing. My mom used to open for me, I think around 12 midnight, 12, 11, because we used to knock off very late.
Yeah.
So my dad didn't understand this thing, and my dad said, no, this one is gonna fall pregnant, you know. So he said it's either she's gonna come back with the CTA or she's gonna come back with the baby, you know. So now in 2015, I was like, this one I want to prove him wrong, right? So I came back with my CTA.
Yeah.
Then I fell pregnant. Immediately at the beginning of the year.
So now this is the beginning of your CTA 2. You need to complete it.
Yeah. Then I fell pregnant. But me being me, you know, I didn't think that I'm sick or what. I was like, it's a condition. I continued, like no man, like knock off with the team. And now I'm moved into different clients that are a bit hectic. We stay overtime, and I'm not used to this overtime thing. I don't come from a client of an overtime. You know, now I'm moving into a client where there's overtime. The work is, you know, it's a lot. And I pushed, and I still made it. I still made it to booster. I still made it to those 6 weeks of, you know, giving.
So you are still in the CTA 2, you are pregnant, you are working a very hectic client.
Yes.
Working overtime, and you are doing your CTA level 2. You passed while pregnant and you gave birth.
Yes, and I gave birth in November, and Unisa's exams were like the first 2 weeks of October. So when I gave birth, I was left with 3 weeks before I gave birth. So I was writing the exams. And then 3 weeks
later you gave birth to the beautiful smart boy. So guys, if you're not encouraged, it is doable. You know, if you determine this is year 7, her journey started differently. She had challenges. I won't say really a challenge. Yes, when you are studying and working and whatnot, but it's also a blessing because it's a very beautiful boy, a smart boy, and she still made it. And year 7 now comes in ITC, comes in. Okay, ITC is the first board. If you haven't watched my video, you have to do it first year of your articles. Or depending, Then APC is a second board. You have to do it within 18 months after you did your articles. So you are in your second year of articles. You are writing your ITC. How did ITC go? And for you, since you came from Unisa and not a residential university, how was your experience? Just briefly.
Okay, the experience was not that bad, right? And I passed it with first attempt in one sitting. So I sat there and wrote the ITC. I passed. So I think because I come from a situation or a system where you teach yourself these things. So even with ITC, I have gotten used to, you have to learn this thing, you know. So I didn't, even though I felt like students from residential university had like a competitive advantage towards us, right? But at the end of the day, it was a matter of mindset. So changing the mindset and also just having the right confidence in place to say, I'm confident, I'm gonna do this. So whatever effort that I'm putting in, it's gonna give me results. So that was me. So when I went for ITC, I went there saying I'm gonna pass. When I came back, I passed ITC.
Sure.
So that was my ITC experience. And then with APC.
That's the last one, guys, now. It's the last one. We are wrapping up. We left with 3 minutes.
So with APC, this is where I hit the rock, right? Now I'm still at AG and I'm a top performer. I've been doing, you know, first attempt, and now I fail. That hit hard.
So that is your first fail since you started this?
Since I started this.
CA journey.
Yes. So the entire, you can say 8 years, I've been passing. And now,
even though it took you a bit longer, a different journey, longer, but you were passing.
I was progressing, so I didn't have a problem. And now I'm in like, what is this? How did I fail? Why did I fail? You know, because it was hitting hard. And I failed it again, you know. So I failed it like 4 times before I passed it. So I passed it on my 5th attempt. And
so what kept you going? What made you not to give up and say, you know what? Anyway, I wanted to be a doctor. So
no. For me, the CA, right? It was the dream.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a backup plan.
Sure.
Right? Even if at some point I thought, let me just do masters and go into academia, because anyway I like academia. You know, at some point I felt like, let me just do SEMA. You know, and it's because when the results came out, you know, I was so excited that I passed it. It'd be failed. I'd be so excited that I passed it. You know, to make myself feel better, I'd say no, I'll try another route. But the fact is that when I sat down, every time when it hit like August and now they start talking APC, I remembered it's the dream. It doesn't have a backup plan. The dream is one, and that's what I'm chasing.
Sure. Guys, because of time, I don't know if I'll call her back. Maybe if you have further questions, we'll bring her back and do a Q&A based on your questions. So after your 4 attempts, you finally got it. Which year was it? How was the feeling? Was it worth it, all this journey? How long did it take you? And now how are you using your CASA, and was it worth it?
I got it last year, right? Did I? Not last year.
No, the other year.
2021.
Yeah.
Yes, I got it in 2021. I was excited.
Oh yeah.
So finally I'm a CA, right? And I'm so happy. So how I'm using it right now, I do some sites, so do like your books, and like now my target, I'm targeting the law firms.
Yes.
So those are my targets.
Sure.
And the plan is to register and become an RA. So I want to do my masters and do the RA at the same time. So I want to do the RA. And
RA, for people who don't know, registered auditor. So after you become a CA, for you to sign off the financial statements, you have to be a registered auditor, which takes about a couple of months, let's say 18 months next. Depends on. Yes, so and then was it worth it?
Yes, because I mean, you get to a place and people say, no, but this is the CA.
Yes.
You know,
and the money is worth it.
And the money is also worth it.
That's the question I always get. Okay, guys, we have literally come to the end. I wish we could, like, because she's my friend, we could talk forever. We talk 5 hours when we're on dates. So somehow I kind of had to cut her. But yeah, if you have more things that you'd like to hear from her, she's an open person. You can send me your questions. We can do a further Q&A, or you can communicate with her directly, depending on how many responses we get. But just a quick 30-second, someone who's, you know, you feel like they can relate to, what would you say to them who wants to go to this journey but they feel like maybe I'm not qualified for this?
I would say don't have a backup plan. Just tell yourself that this is what I want and go for it. When you kneel down to God and ask God for something, and you say, God, I want to be a CA. When you stand up, you go work for it. You don't stand up from your prayer room and now start thinking teaching can work or I can do nursing. The prayer was about being a CA, and you focus on it and you go for it. I feel like you can do anything. Not that I feel like I know, because I've seen myself. Test your limits. We are capable of doing so many things. It's just that we are not aware of it. So tell yourself, this is what I want. They can say it's challenging, it's this, it's that. Some people even say it doesn't have money. You know? But if that's what you want, if that's your dream, fetch your dream, get it.